for joining us today.
My pleasure.
So we're Brown Revival. We shed light on South Asians in the entertainment industry or people who are pursuing like non-traditional career paths. So you're Kabir Chopra, and he's
I am.
Yes, and he's a filmmaker and actor based in New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just to get started, we're gonna start out with like fast 5 questions.
Okay.
So you're on the spotlight right now.
Let's do it.
Okay. So since your show is all about dating, I'm just gonna like ask you a lot of questions regarding dating, kind of.
About my dating life?
Or just in general, just dating.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so our first question is favorite dating spot.
In general, or like a specific bar or restaurant?
Maybe a specific restaurant or bar in like New York, like a favorite date spot there.
Let's see. The date spot I would take all my dates to in my early 20s was the Belfry in New York on 14th and 3rd.
What's the vibe in there like?
If you go during happy hour, it's packed.
Yeah.
But if you go after happy hour, it's like very sexy dim lighting, Christmas lights on the ceiling, lots of plants, and it's a huge back room, and they got little candles. Yeah. Very romantic.
That's nice. And our next question is one thing that would make you swipe right on someone.
Ooh. If they mention anything to do with Batman, swipe right.
Okay, so Batman.
Because then I know they have good taste. But if it's Superman, swipe left.
All right.
Very important.
Yeah. And if you could have a famous person if you'd like to have dinner with someone, like anyone famous, alive or dead, who would it be?
That's a good question. Padma Lakshmi.
Oh, I love Padma Lakshmi.
Yeah.
It's amazing. She literally does everything.
Yeah, I think she's really inspirational.
Yes. Yeah.
She's funny, she's brilliant. Her Instagram just constantly makes me hungry and thirsty all the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
She did actually respond to one of my comments.
Oh, really?
She responded to one of my comments on Instagram. Because she hosted this comedy show. And I took a picture and I posted on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then she responded. I was like, oh my god.
I'd be fangirling.
Yeah.
Also, worst date. What's your worst date?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't think I've had like a worst date, but I've had several dates where I was just disappointed.
Yeah.
But I would say one of the most disappointing dates was I went out with this girl and we were chatting for a bit, and she seemed really nice and funny, but then when we met in person, it was just dead silence.
Yeah, it's like no conversation.
Yeah, it's like the conversation we had over text was so engaging and funny, and like, okay, I think we have good
like
chemistry.
Yeah.
But then in person, it was just like silence.
Yeah.
It was just like, hey, how are you? Good. What have you been up to? Just working.
Yeah. So it just doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah. And then this is like when I had to try to make conversation, and there's nothing happening.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna drink, okay, check, okay. Yeah, bye.
Bye. I've been there before. And your favorite dating app?
Dating app. I would say I've got 2 that I like the most. Coffee Meets Bagel, because you get a limited number of matches, and I think that makes you much more focused on the matches that you already have. Yeah. And then Hinge as well, because I think it's one of those apps that makes you put in more effort into your profile and ask questions, so you can really get to know somebody better.
Exactly. They ask you like 3 questions to answer, right? And
Yeah.
So I guess like you get a better idea of who the person is. Unlike Tinder, where you're just like swiping incessantly.
Exactly. It's just endless.
Yeah. So can you tell us what your show's about? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So Swipe to Death is a comedy web series about online dating and the horror stories that come out of it.
Yeah.
It's a comedy, and each episode is based on a true story.
Oh, okay.
So some of them are based on my personal experiences, and others are from my friends.
All right.
But the really exciting thing is that it's a how do I say this? The really exciting thing is that there's 2 main characters whose journeys you follow, and one's male and the other's female. So I play the male lead. His name is Jay, and each episode I'll go out with a new girl. And then we have the female lead, whose name is Farah, who's played by my friend Rima Sampat, who was in Orange is the New Black. She was on Jessica Jones on Netflix. She's been in a lot of different TV shows. And in her episode, she'll go out with a new guy for each day, for each episode. And so it's really cool just collecting all these dating stories from my friends and just seeing these weird commonalities and also just seeing how starkly different the male online dating experience is compared to the female online dating experience.
Yeah, for sure. There's a big difference.
Yeah. And women definitely have it a lot harder.
Yeah.
For sure.
From personal experience, I can attest to that.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I connected to Rima's character a lot when she went on like one of the dates and she was uncomfortable and like she wanted to leave, but the guy wouldn't leave her alone. So totally got that. So how did the show come to be?
So I would say I started writing the script in November 2015, and I saw that's when Master of None came out on Netflix, and I was watching that, and it was a mixture of inspiration and frustration. So I was so inspired by seeing the story and seeing all these South Asian American actors dating in New York, and I'm like, this is awesome. But at the same time, I'm like, why can't I do that too?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yeah.
And so that's how it started. And then in 2016, we did a table read of the script. Well, first, I started collecting dating stories from my friends. I just did a Facebook post. I'm like, hey guys, hit me with your best stories, your craziest online dating experiences. And the floodgates opened. Like, so many women just sent me their crazy dating experiences. And men too. And it was a very diverse group. It was gay men, straight women, straight women from the other side of the country, from around the world. And it was really eye-opening. And then I started choosing the stories that I thought had a good narrative. And then I started writing Swipe to Death. And then in 2016, we did a table read with all the actors at Tamasha, which is a South Asian performing arts festival in New York. And we actually won the award for Best Table Read.
Oh, that's amazing.
So before we even shot the series, we already got an
award.
Which is amazing. And then 2018, we shot it. We shot the first 2 episodes. We released them in September. And we've already been accepted to 6 festivals.
Wow.
And we're crowdfunding to shoot more episodes.
I'm excited to see more. So how would you say your TV persona differentiates? How is it different from your real life persona?
Exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
No, I'm just kidding. For this character, for Jay, the character I'm playing in Swipe to Death, I would say he's a more exaggerated version of myself. So the lazy aspects of him, the lazy aspects of myself are just times 10 in the show. There's an old scene I wrote, we didn't end up shooting, but where he's sitting in bed and he orders bagels, and he actually asks the delivery guy to come into the apartment and hand him the bagels, so he doesn't even have to leave his bed.
Uber Eats.
So, like stuff like that.
And do you have a favorite episode on the show?
I do. We haven't filmed it yet.
Okay.
So I can't quite talk about it yet. But it's coming. Okay. It's a really exciting episode, but it's also a little heartbreaking as well.
Okay. So what got you into entertainment and directing, acting?
Honestly, I got into this filmmaking career path through school. I just did lots of filmmaking classes in middle school and high school, and it was one of those things where I thought I was very good at it, and I really enjoyed it, and I just sucked at everything else. I was not a good student. I was terrible at math, so my Indian parents were not happy about that. 2 of my cousins got into Princeton and Harvard, so when it came my turn to get into college, I was, hashtag no pressure. I did get into NYU.
That's amazing. Tisch is one of the best.
I love Tisch, and And so I think just getting into NYU, I knew it was a stretch because I wasn't a great student, but I really loved the filmmaking process. And when I got in, I was like on top of the world.
Yeah. So what's your viewpoint on South Asians and like Hollywood representation, like how they're represented in the like movie industry?
I think it's definitely gotten a lot better in the last couple of years in terms of South Asian representation in Hollywood. There are a lot more, I'm seeing a lot more South Asians on screen, which is great, but I think we need to do more.
Okay.
And I think we need more, not just having, you know, brown actors on screen playing doctors or, you know, family members, but seeing them in a leading role.
Yeah.
You know, I would love to see a sitcom like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with a Desi family.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome and hilarious and something that all Americans would enjoy. You have shows like The Big Bang Theory where you have the token brown character and he's very stereotyped and, you know, like...
He's like scared to talk to girls.
Like, it's just like it's old. And it's not
guy,
funny anymore.
No, it's not.
No one's, you know, buying that anymore.
It's just a stereotype that they perpetuate like even more. So,
we can do better.
Yeah. Like, what do you think was like the first show to like kind of show like South Asians in like a normal like kind of like without the stereotype? Do you know any of any shows?
I know there are a few. I think the first that comes to mind was probably Master of None.
Yeah.
Where you had an Indian character with Indian parents. He casts his real parents, and you know it's unapologetic. So many of us here in America, our parents are immigrants, or our grandparents are immigrants. You know, we connect with those stories no matter who they are, where they come from, and I think that show did a beautiful job telling those stories.
Exactly. Yeah, you're like able to identify with, like, I think that's like the first show I was able to identify with, like the immigrant like parent experience and all of that. You also wrote a book about dating, right?
I did.
Yeah. So what's the name of it?
So the book I wrote is called Poke Me, a no-nonsense guide to online dating and offline loving. I wrote it before Tinder. This is pre-Tinder.
Ooh, okay. Pre-Tinder age. Okay.
So I wrote it as like a very cheeky, funny how-to guide to online dating.
Yeah.
A lot of it's practical stuff, like, you know, don't be late to your date. You know, use a picture that shows your face, not, you know, 10 other people.
Yeah.
And like little things like that. And then I had like funny stories or anecdotes of like, here's one, like be on time for a date, right?
Yeah.
Because one time I kept waiting for an hour for a date.
Oh my God.
And like we were supposed to meet at 9:30.
Yeah.
And I get to the bar at 9:30. She texts me and says, I'll be there at 10:30.
Oh my God.
And it already took me like 30 minutes to get there.
Yeah.
So I
waited it out.
I was just drinking rosé.
Okay, good.
And by the time she got there, I was fairly buzzed. So, be on time.
Okay. So, are there any South Asian people that we should be looking out for in the film industry, any rising artists?
Yes, there's several.
Okay.
First, I would start with my friend Piali Sham. So she's an actress. She will be in Swipe to Death.
Oh, okay.
She's acted in a lot of my projects in the past, and she's also in the web series Insomnia. And she's an awesome, phenomenal actress. There's also my friend Ami Sheth, who was in several episodes of Dietland on AMC, and then she's been on The Blind Spot for a bunch of episodes. She's done a lot of great TV, and she'll also be in Swipe to Death.
Okay.
And then last but not least, my dear friend Rima Sampat, who also from Swipe to Death, and she was on Orange is the New Black this past season, as well as this upcoming final season of the show. And I've had the pleasure of, you know, being friends with her, but working with her for 4 years. We were both in the same acting class, and she's just a killer performer and a really good friend.
That's great.
So look out for all those people.
You can agree that you've been really inspiring to us.
Oh, thank you.
The whole point of our project is to like let other people like learn that there are South Asian people like, you know, pursuing these different professions. And thank you for letting us interview you, and we hope that others get inspired and follow the path that you did. So.
Well, thank you for letting me come on your show. I hope I inspired you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
And check out Swipe to Death.
Yeah.